Well, very good evening or otherwise time appropriate greetings to you folks here on Speed Gaming 5, and welcome to this episode of the A Link to the Past Randomizer Daily Race. On this episode, we ask the age old question, why is that there? I'm Captain MD, and today I'm joined by Alex. How you doing tonight?
I am very excited. This is one of my favorite game modes, as I've discovered now. It's from the Avian Tournament, and we have a lot of things in store for us tonight.
Indeed, showing their skills tonight on Restream, we've got Lana Bean, Mundungu, Bredikun, and Professor Renderer. So, there's a lot to talk about here as we're about to kick things off. So, we know kind of ahead of time where a few items actually are. So, why don't we go into that?
Sure. What part do you want to start with?
Well, we have three gloves in the pool, but one of them is in a specific area, namely Swamp Palace.
Well, at least to the best of my knowledge, that should be how it works.
Yeah.
The other two main things that I will note is the bow is always going to be progressive bow locked. Oh, and our runners are kicking off here, so we'll pause for a second. All runners are going into Link's house for the start for a piece of heart.
All right, we got our first overworld map check. We've got a pendant eastern, crystals everywhere else, with desert being red.
All right, so far we are seeing no divergence in our runners, so that's actually kind of interesting.
Everybody's going to go ahead and get that tier 1 tree pull here, and it looks like it's red rubies. That is a very good tier 1 tree pull for the early game.
Now, this is a really good tree pull to actually farm going in and out of the Uncle Sewers here.
Indeed, we'll get enough money to buy bombs and bottle vendor in one fell swoop, although the uncle seems to have no problem giving us another big 20 himself.
Oh.
On the flip side, we start with a hammer.
Wow, so that's going to set us off really well.
Yeah, that's already big on the offensive front, so it's pretty powerful, just has a wonky hitbox.
Interesting that Renderer saved and quit out. Now, actually, Mundungu did the same thing. It is very common for a lot of runners, if they ever get a weapon that they can use in the escape sequence that's not bombs, they will tend to go into escape sequence. But we have two runners who did not do that. Meanwhile, Lana and Bredikun are going in there.
And meantime, we're seeing Professor Renderer and Mundungu do the Kakariko checks, although Professor Renderer is going to go ahead and check the checks notes Lumberjack ledge, while Mundungu gets another tier 1 tree pull here to grab some extra cash. Looks like it's arrows off of the bush crabs today, nothing of extreme significance there.
Unless we get an early bow.
And we could do with one of those.
Just 20 rupees on the Lumberjack ledge and a piece of heart on the Thieves' hideout drop down. But while we have a little bit of a lull here, to recap on the game mode and such, there is one bow that's in the wild, and the other one will be bow locked. So it can either be on the right side of Palace of Darkness, or on King Helmistar himself, which is locked behind the bow, or on the Armos Knights, again locked behind the bow, or in the Ganon's Tower climb, which is post mimics during the climb, which is supposed to require the bow.
Yeah, and the other big one is, as you mentioned earlier, the fire rod is fire locked, which means it's going to be behind either a lamp check like Landmolus, for example, Hera Basement, left side Mire, or behind Bombos Medallion, in which case the only checks that applies to is Ice Palace. You might have noticed, however, that Lana Bean did get the big, and Bredikun for that matter, did get the big, nice rod.
That was an ice rod and a moon pearl there in Blind's basement.
Wow, this is looking good for Pen and Turtle Rock. Anybody?
Green Pen and Turtle Rock, come on. Let's give them all a little bit of credit.
You know what's going to happen. But yeah, so in the case of Ice Palace, Lamp by itself's not going to do any good. We're going to need Bombos Medallion for that. But the point is, the fire rod is behind some kind of fire source, so we do need to bear that in mind. also know that the boots are either out in the open or in Hookshot Cave. We did see a mushroom in the well. I don't know why it's growing down there.
Dark places, mushrooms grow really well there.
Actually, that's very fair.
And then just a couple other, well, some people would say junk items. I mean, personally, I'm a fan for the Piece of the Heart, getting some really good early HP. I mean, Mundungu here is on 6 hearts, while the rest of our runners, well, Professor Runner is now on 4, are all on 3. Also, Swamp Palace is guaranteed to at least have one sword, a progressive sword. Could be the first one, could be the second, third, fourth, does not matter. It is guaranteed to have at least one sword, though.
And I am aware that I'm coming through quiet on the restream. We are getting that sorted out, so bear with us on that front. So as far as things we can immediately do, turning the mushroom is one of them. Although turning in the mushroom, we know is actually part of the why is that there. That's going to give us the shovel. Because as you had mentioned earlier, the fetch quests are all in a chain. So mushroom will always give shovel, and shovel dig spot will lead to powder. And then what's on powder, well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Well, fortunately, we do have the hammer, though, so powder check is possible.
It's certainly possible.
That is a sword on race game.
Ooh, I don't think runners are going to be passing that up, just because it's a bit more of a convenient weapon than hammer, just for the sake of not having to manage inventory.
Also, welcome to Avian Art Rating with a party of 96. We are featuring one of your game modes in itself. Why is that there?
And so far, we've already seen the first major demonstration of this with the mushroom already being found, and hopefully we'll see our runners check that chain that will inevitably lead to the powder in shovel spot. I did notice that the library itself was a heart piece, so nothing of importance boots locked just yet. With boots being effectively an overworld location, it seems like they're not going to be too tough to spot, so they'll probably be visible early. The question is, what will they be behind? Will we need a cape to get them out of upper ledge, for example? Will they be chilling on the floating island? There's a couple nasty places they can be.
I don't know. I'm kind of looking for the Lake Hylia spot.
Ooh, that wouldn't be a bad one.
It's a fun bomb toss there from a Nungu.
Yeah, still plenty of bombs left coming out of Moldorm Cave, although probably we'll get a refill. Usually the blueberries are visible somewhere, but instead we get a shirt. And blue
And
goo
a
at that.
bottle.
All right, first bottle would have been nice about 2 minutes ago, but oh well.
Hey, we take them when we can get them.
All right, we're now seeing Professor Renderer make the Hyrule Castle dive. I don't recall there being anything down here.
I believe it was Redcoon and Lanabean who did it, and I do not see anything special on their trackers.
I don't think so either. Looks like Lanabean's frozen. We'll try and figure out what that's about. We'll get back to you on that in just a few minutes. Now, what do we have so far? We've got Sword, Moon Pearl, Ice Rod, Hammer. Like, they're all good things in themselves. Okay, never mind. There's already a free Master Sword.
So we're a lamp away from Aga.
Yeah, we are.
I mean, that's point, but we're also a glove away from Dark World. So
yeah, I have a feeling we're going to see. Well, there's still a lot of checks left before we start having to think about Aga. So I think we're going to see, Eastern Palace, maybe Agina's Cave as a last resort. Possibly, maybe someone will. I don't remember if we saw the key in Hyrule Castle.
There's the lamp.
Mind.
Oh my. We don't like to see that. Well, no, we do like to see that.
I really gotta
And yeah, shout out to Wandering Keeper saying, which will come first, lamp or glove? Well, you know, and as Lana's showing us, that's the 20 rupees there on the damn flood. So I'm saying it's kind of looking like Agon. We'd like to see that. That prolongs our race, and we like that.
Indeed. Now, it looks like Breadkun is going for the mushroom chain and is getting shoveled now. Probably is going to check the dig spot at the next possible opportunity, but right now it's a little out of the way.
We're going to get a desert ledge here from Mundungu, as well as Dark Cross out of Renderer without the lamp, which we do know the lamp is available, so this would be in logic. This mode can have vanilla items, yes. There are all of the big keys. One of the other points that we've not mentioned as well is that the big keys in this game are all vanilla, except for Tower of Harris, Swamp Palace, Skullwoods, and Ice Palace, because none of those big keys are logically required to finish the seed kind of situation. So those ones can be shuffled outside of their dungeon.
I'm sorry, I need to take another look on Mundungu's screen, because I could be wrong, but I think I might have seen a cane of Samaria on Hylia Island.
I was just about to ask what was on the island, and
Yeah,
wow.
Alright, so cane behind Flippers and Mirror. And we're gonna need that, probably, given especially that we've already got one pendant in the light world. It's highly unlikely Myra and Toro Rock will both be the other pendants, and then, of course, there's that whole thing about logical requirements for Ice Palace, if there's a key on Cold Stare and all that jazz, but Renderer finds the Flippers in the back of Escape.
And there's nothing special in Saha's closet either. It was, I believe, 1 rupee, 20 rupees, and a piece of heart. It was 2 rupees and a piece of heart, so that's interesting. We're getting a little bit closer to Aga here.
We're getting close to Aga, but the Flippers that Professor Render has picked up here is a pretty big opener, because it does give the entirety of the Zor area, and his cash is close to 500. So I think with this series of checks in South Shore, Professor Render will be able to route that in quite efficiently. But to your point earlier, it looks like Lana Bean is going to be the first to make that dive to Aga.
I am very... this is a very risky play, I think, because we still have quite a few checks left. But if this pays off, Lana could be in quite the position.
Yeah, now the thing is, we've already seen Hammer and Flippers especially, because Flippers is the big Dark World opener when you don't have a glove. Because it basically lets you move from one side of the Dark World to the other. So I do wonder where the glove actually is. I mean, the glove could just be chilling on the pyramid, and then all is well on Wannabe's side of the controller. But we will see. And with Pendant Eastern as well, we may not be seeing that first bow for some time. We may see runners just trying to avoid that area if at all possible. Looks like Breadkun had to drink the blue goo for a minute there, but is going to be picking up Shovel Spot, which we do know is guaranteed to be powder. So we're going to see if that gets turned in soon. I think the early hammer is actually pretty telling that there is something on that.
I'm trying to remember from the last time when we had a why is that there scene, whether or not it was decently telling. Because I don't think we got an early hammer, and I'm pretty sure the fetch quest chain ended up being a trap. But between lamp and hammer, and potentially being able to get into Palace of Darkness, it could have a bow there, and then the bow lock bow.
Indeed. Both bows in the same dungeon would be pretty hilarious,
Bombos on Sick Kid.
Yeah, that's a pretty big deal because
We got flippers.
yeah, we've got flippers, and that is definitely a key into Ice Palace, which has 8 checks where the Fire Rod can be chilling at. Well, I say 8 checks, but the keys are still. Well, actually, hold on. It would be 4 items in Ice Palace because the key is the big key is all over the place for Ice Palace, so that's 4 potential checks. Because I think the small key
Correct.
is still in the dungeon.
Yeah, it's only the big key that's shuffled out. So it's, I believe, 3 items in Swamp Palace. But because the big key cannot be in Ice Palace, sorry, not Swamp Palace, Ice Palace. Because the big key cannot be in there, there is a 4th item in there. Yes.
I mean, alternatively, there is a chance that the big key of Ice Palace is still in Ice Palace, but then that would be an is this even randomized moment.
Yeah, I mean, for this game mode in particular, I do believe it is supposed to be logically impossible for it to be in there.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar
So,
with this particular mode.
yeah. So it's the non-required ones are guaranteed to be outside of their dungeon. Is the key. And then the ones that are required to complete them have to be in their own dungeon.
On the note of is this even randomized, we did get a vanilla bottle from the bridge guy, and it did have a red potion, which is not going to go amiss at this point. All right.
And
here
Lana
are-
here.
Pendant Turtle Rock and Pendant Swamp Palace. You love to see it.
And red crystal on Thieves Town. What is on Pyramid Ledge? We're getting that from Lana.
Yeah, this is really actually kind of a moment of truth here, but it looks like
She jumped down one too far.
yeah.
Our glove in Waterfall Fairy. Aga is not necessary. No, Aga's not required.
Aga's totally dead at this point. So yeah, the flippers in back of Escape give you the glove, and that pretty much sorts it out. Unfortunately, Professor Render is a tiny bit short on cash for Zora, and it looks like Waterfall Fairy is refilling with green potions today.
And we don't have a boomerang or a hook shot, so we can't see the stun prize.
Yeah,
We do have flippers, so we can see what's on Zora Ledge, though. If it's rupees, then we can do Zora. Well, depending on the rupee price, I guess. Oh, and it's just bombs.
Yeah, and 18 rupees is a little bit questionable because I don't know if we know what the Zora or the crab prices are this time around. But it looks like Lana Bean's just going to go straight to Pod here.
Mandangu also just did Waterfall Cave and got their Power Glove, and has even less money to try to do Zora, so...
Yeah, we're definitely not going to be seeing that this time around. Redcon, on the other hand, has just found the mirror in Eastern Palace. That is a Sphere Zero mirror, and we have flippers, so that puts Kane in logic.
So let's see if we have a Bolocked pod, I guess, here.
I'm going to laugh if we actually find the bow in this chest. It's very rare, but I've seen it happen.
It's not Bolocked. We can go in through the front door. But Professor Render's going to see the bombos there on Sick Kid. And that's going to raise some questions. Because we're not very far away from being able to do Ice Palace.
Yeah, well, actually, and to that point, because we have flippers and Professor Render has, not Professor Render, Redcoon has mirror, we know flippers are required anyway because Ice Palace, so everyone's got to pick those up. But with flippers and mirror already in tow, we can, assuming it's not, locked behind hookshot, we can get those Titans bits out of Swamp Palace.
Yeah, that is... Oh, that makes it actually a lot more interesting.
Yeah, so Green Pendant Swamp Palace may be actually quite tantalizing once everybody gets, kind of meets up here in the middle with all their equipment.
And who knows what's off of the Green Pendant as well from Saha.
Indeed.
Lana is just riding this keychain here in, Oh, and there it is from Renderer. I did not see what the first check was there in Hype Cave, and it was the Book of Medora. And we do have Master Sword, so we do not need to do blind checks. We can grab our tablets as we go along.
Yeah,
We got glove, we got lamp, we have mirror, we have dark world access. We got it all.
Yeah, that actually puts Pyramid Fairy into play already because we have the ability to clear desert, we have the ability to clear Thieves Town, courtesy of Hammer. So, I mean, we didn't necessarily need Hammer for Thieves Town, but you definitely don't want to be leaving that Thieves Town big chest behind in case it does have your, in case it has, for example, your first bow.
And we're also gonna get a mimic clip here. It seems from Lana. So, we're gonna go forth in this Palace of Darkness run.
Well, Professor Render has just found a nice convenience item, found half magic off of Stumpy.
I'm a sucker for half magic. I'll say it's one of my favorite items.
Indeed, I tend to play pretty aggressively with my heavy weapons in games, so having just the extra ammunitioning or the reduced magic consumption is a big plus for me.
And I can imagine that the reason for Lana doing this mimic clip here is to conserve a key and not have to use an extra one. In terms of the Palace of Darkness run here.
We're seeing Mundangu go ahead and make this dive with glove in tow this time, glove and flippers for that matter. So I think after Pod, I have a feeling we're going to see our runners head in the direction of Thieves Town. Probably get both of those red crystals actually sooner rather than later because it will open up 2 additional chests.
I don't see why they wouldn't do that. Lana seeing here, she does not have the big key. But also to answer towards chat, that I know of, I don't think it's been fixed necessarily yet, but yes, we are still trying to work on Captain's mic being potentially a little bit quieter.
Yeah, we've had this problem before. I think it might be a problem on the back end. It's happened.
Just please bear with us as we face our technical difficulties. Lana with the Tempered Sword. That means there is a Butter Sword in Swamp Palace.
Oh, that's not a bad spot for Buttersword, considering we might be going to Swamp Palace sooner rather than later, given that it may have a relatively early Titans. Now, one thing that might be keeping runners away at the moment from Swamp, probably lack of hookshot, because if mitts are behind hookshot, the last thing they want to do is have to come back into Swamp later for Titans mitts with hookshot themselves. So I think they would rather see hookshot first, then go get Titans mitts, since it would be basically a guarantee.
Didn't see what that second Dark Basement check was from Lana, but the first one was 300 rupees. And we have Professor Renderer going into Desert Palace, which is very interesting.
The other Dark Basement item was a key.
Okay, because she just grabbed her... okay, it was the key, and then she grabbed her final one at a Harmless Hellway. Okay. That makes sense. So yeah, she has her final key. She just needs the bow.
Well, Desert Palace might end up being boots locked today because that's a small key on the torch. We'll see what's in the big chest here. And it is the big key. Okay, big break for Professor Renderer there.
Well, now we can go check the chest, but there could still be an item on the on the right side.
There could be an item on the right. If we're lucky, both items are just going to be chilling in this big chest and then on Molus, but that's, to put it mildly, pretty improbable case in point.
Oh, that's a compass.
Yeah, so there's an item, boots locked in desert, so we might have to come back for that later.
I mean, Chad also bringing up, we could steal the Desert Palace small key and go check right side and go see. Mind you, we'll still have to come back regardless because Desert Palace is a crystal, but we could see if there's a progression related item here and it could propel us in the future.
I honestly don't think, well, I know I'm fairly confident Professor Render's not going to do that because of the, I don't know why Lana has a vendetta against all these hype cave chests. Maybe there's just a vendetta against the shield? I don't know.
Yeah. So Lana hates shields. Just straight up, she hates shields.
I see.
And if she knows that a runner is going to get them whenever she's commentating, she hopes that they do not.
Okay. On that note,
Um,
she just got her shield eaten.
yeah, she will probably always go out of her way to have her shield removed. Yeah, it's kind of just a little funny thing with Lana.
If there's anything I enjoy in a race, it's good comedy.
And there's 3 bombs on Zora, so we're not missing anything.
And it looks like Professor Render is going to go straight for Len Molis, and I agree with this play better because
And we do have an ice rod though, so pretty easy Lamola kill if you can land ice rod shots.
it's a relatively easy Len Molis fight, and again, it's a red crystal, and I think the red crystals probably have the better appeal since both red crystals are already in play.
And 10 arrows, so that should leave, I believe, 1 item still there in right side desert.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I don't think you're going to see players dipping right side desert for 1 item unless things go downhill really fast and we for some reason can't find, let's say, Fluke, for example.
Unless we find boots first before our other runners dive into desert. Because that's quite possible. If we get Flute, relatively soon, and Titans as well, going to Swamp Palace, because we know we can find our Titans there.
That being said, we have Lamp and Glove, so we've had Death and Mirror and Hammer for that matter, so we've got, like, a huge amount of Death Mountain access right now. But no runner has dipped Death Mountain yet. They've all practically all of them have made a beeline for the Dark World as soon as they got the chance.
I don't think they're trying to last location it. I actually think it's the complete opposite. They're just trying to save all of it for they can do all that they can at the moment, and they're going to go up there, and they know it's going to lead to the rest of the map. And I think, honestly, all of them know that.
Indeed. I think, especially with the flippers, anybody who's got flippers now knows that, and Mirror for that matter, if Breadcrumb's the only one who does, knows for a fact that they can definitely go the whole way through in Swamp if they're lucky and get the Titans, in which case Dark Dead Mountain will be wide open. We would appear to have frozen, by the way.
We've frozen visually, but we still have audio, so I'm a little interested.
Which I'm a little disappointed at because I'm fairly confident Professor Renderer was about to make a ped check. So bear with us, chat. We're going to have to go into radio mode here as we try and figure out what's going on.
Well, we just found an item. Don't know what it is, but we just picked up an item. If I'm not mistaken, I do believe we're following Lana's audio.
Indeed we are.
Which the command does not have all of our runners here. But, very obviously tonight that we have, Lana Bean, Professor Renderer, Manungu, and Breadcoon. Do make sure you go out of your way to find and follow all of them. But, maybe potentially be able to look at Lana and see if she has found anything in particular, just because she's the audio that we are currently following. While we work on our technical difficulties. This is certainly not the first time we've had them, and we do our best.
In the meantime, I do have Professor Renderer's feed up on my end as well, and it looks like he's currently diving Thieves Town looking for items. Not seeing anything of note added to the tracker. Yeah, I'm still seeing Lamp and Glove, so yeah, nothing of note in the front of Thieves.
Okay, I was gonna say, certain things I see in Lana's thing, but we seem to have one or the other already on our tracker. Because on our tracker, we can see that Lana already has Quake Medallion, but she has Quake and Bombos marked off on her own.
Yeah, the Quake Medallion was in the bow lock section of.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, we have temporarily gone dark over here while we get the stream reset, so bear with us.
And as well, Lana does also have marked off and noted that she does still have an item check on Helmasaur King when she goes to do the final boss.
I see.
So that is also worth mentioning for all of our runners that, I guess, supposing that she has tracked it correctly. We are still looking at another item in Palace of Darkness as well.
All right, and we are just about restoring feeds here. So again, thank you folks for your patience while we figure that out.
And this is why is that there? That could just be our progressive bow on Helmasaur King.
Wouldn't that be hilarious?
I mean, that would be a wonderful thing to find. I mean, if I got bow, I'm assuming all the items they already have, having the mirror and other stuff, which from the looks of it, Red is the only one that has our mirror here. Just a heart container there on the Spiral Cave.
I'm trying to remember where the mirror was. It was in a nice spot.
Honestly, it's blanking from me.
I don't think it was in the Dark World. It was in Eastern. Eastern.
Oh, it was the compass chest in Eastern, if I'm not mistaken.
Indeed. So yeah, that's a Sphere Zero mirror. We've had access to that since the start of the game.
Right, so that makes it a little bit more interesting. We've only had one person who dove Eastern, and I think other people are looking for a mirror to maybe go pod Eastern.
Well, we did. I just looked back on the Twitch playback, and Mundungun did actually just pick up Flute out of Thieves Town Big Chest.
Oh.
So yeah, Thieves Town Big Chest definitely coming into play here. Also, we just found the Hera Big Key in. We just found Hera Big Key in Spiral Cave. Which interesting because I thought the Hera Key wasn't required to get to the top, but I guess nobody does. Everybody Hera pots. I don't know.
It can be required to get to the top. However, it can be outside the dungeon.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be inside the dungeon. Well, the logic rule is a little bit interesting, but
I see.
Yeah, we're gonna get the Heron Key as an overworld drop.
All right. Well, Redcoon swung by Death Mountain is our first runner up here and has found just some sticks on Spectacle Rock. Nothing else of note just yet, besides the Hera Big Key and not Spiral, Paradox Cave. And it looks like he's gonna dip Hera. Just strike another crystal off the, or strike his first crystal off the board.
And there's the blind kill there on Renderer's side, just for a 3-bomb drop.
Yeah, most importantly, that is his second red crystal, so Pyramid Fairy is now in play. And it looks like Lana Bean is going to go ahead and do the back of Escape, which we do know is definitely on the to-do list, as it does carry a Flippers, which does lead to a glove. And a cane, for that matter, after she finds Mirror.
Yeah, those flippers are going to be quite prosperous. And Shirley has a tempered sword, and she knows that there is a sword locked in Swamp Palace. So you can.
I think if Titan's Mitch show up before we end up dipping Swamp Palace, if the other overworld, if the other non-Swamp Glove shows up elsewhere, see Swamp Palace at all, because runners will not go too crazy about Butter Sword if they can skip it, because Butter Sword, from an attack power increase perspective, doesn't add that much, especially on Ganon. Yeah, especially on Ganon, it doesn't like reduce the amount of work needing to be done that much.
Here was Compass Chest in Eastern Palace.
I'm actually
Also, hi, homemade beer.
I'm actually going to, since we have a second here, since it seems like everybody, well, not really.
We're just kind of retracing some steps here among our runners. Yeah.
Well, what I'd like to do is check Professor Renderer's VOD real quick and see what he discovered on the pedestal. So bear with me a second.
Also, as you go to review that, we just got the Ice Palace Big Key out of the Skullblood's Big Chest. So there's our Ice Palace key, and we have Bombos, we got Flippers. We're just a Titan's Mitts away. And maybe potentially a Hookshot, depending on where Titan's Mitts could be out of Swamp Palace, for example. But yeah, we're still currently at the moment of being Titan's Mitts basically away from just all of Ice Palace. And honestly, Ice Palace being a crystal, I feel like that's going to be a really quick thing out of us.
I'm honestly convinced Fire Rod is in Ice Palace as well. I think the game giving us Bombos Medallion as early as it did is a pretty big clue.
But it also gave us Lamp, which is the other fire locking item.
That is true. So all of those fire lock checks we discussed at the start of the race here are now pretty much in play. Looks like Lana was interested in picking up a bomb refill off of the Lake Hylia ferry.
Have we seen the Hera basement play? I'm pretty sure we have not.
No, Breadcoon went straight for the top after picking up the big key. I know we saw at least one item. I don't know if we've seen the other.
I don't think so. Off the top of my head.
And yep, Lana just found the glove and has delivered a rage bomb. Oh, and our tracker's actually confirming with us in Discord. Bread did go to the basement, and it was just cash, so it did have a second item.
So that means Fire Rod is either Left Side Misery Mire or Ice Palace.
And Left Side Mire, the main thing stopping us from that is Titan's Mitch, which again, we could go get right. Although actually, we can't get into past the Mire's foyer anyway. We still need Boots and Hookshot.
Correct, but we do also need Titan's Mitts in order to get into Ice Palace as well. So, if I ended up getting Titan's Mitts, I'd probably go to Ice Palace because, you know, the chance for 4 items instead of, I believe it's only 2 in Misery Mire.
Yeah, and I think runners right now, the main reason they haven't beelined it for Swamp already is they are still waiting on that, in Breadcoon's case, because he's had access to Swamp for a hot minute here. I think he's waiting to see if a Hookshot comes up first, but clearing Crystal Dungeons in the meantime. Because again, last thing you want is for Titan's Mitts to be Hookshot locked, and the other overworld Titan's Mitts to be possibly, you know, in Dark Death Mountain, for example. Like,
You mean in Pendant Turtle Rock, of course?
Yeah, like, because I'm not sure if the logic considers the glove in Swamp to be part of the main logic, or if it's just an alternate extra glove that the game just throws in for giggles.
Well, the definition of the rule that we have is Swamp Palace contains a progressive sword and Titan's Mitts, but there are still 2 progressive gloves that are randomized in the world. Which, if I'm not mistaken, is supposed to be that there are 2 power gloves randomized in the world, and the Titan's Mitts are guaranteed to be in Swamp Palace. Which...
And the logic does take the Swamp Palace one specifically into consideration, because so the game could be putting that second overworld Mitts behind the Swamp Mitts, is what I'm trying to say. And the last thing you want is for that to be the case, and for that Swamp Titan's Mitts to be Hookshot locked.
Right, and I believe that's why our runners absolutely would be avoiding Swamp, because they want the Hookshot so they don't have to double dip it kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't think we've had the ability to finish up this chain for pretty much the entire race since Mushroom came super early.
Yeah, it was
alongside
one of our
Hammer.
first checks.
So this is like basically a Sphere 1 magic bat.
I mean, Hammer was the uncle's super chest, if I'm not mistaken. And then
Kakariko well. So yeah, this is a Sphere 1 check basically.
right. And we're gonna get that from Renderer just now. So we will see the end of this. Also, welcome to Speed Gaming Prime rating with a party of 40. Welcome to our why is that there seed tonight? And that's just 50 rupees there on the magic bat. So that is not our answer.
No, it is not. Yeah, so we might just have to dip Pendant Swamp without Hookshot after all at the rate we're going. Now, having said that, pretty much everybody besides Brett has to still go to Eastern Palace anyway to find that mirror. And the fact that they haven't found Bo yet is probably the main reason they've kind of kept their distance from Eastern up until this point. But it's looking like it's pretty much unavoidable now.
I mean, I guess it's between Bo and not having mirror because, well, if you have mirror, you like to dip one of those and then go into the other. So, understandable, but I have a feeling, and I'm just gonna say it. We only have a couple chests in Swamp Palace that we could check. I feel like Hookshot's in Swamp Palace. Otherwise, we need to go up to Death Mountain.
Well, we've already seen Brett clear Death Mountain out because he's definitely checked Spiral and Paradox Cave already. So he's done East Death Mountain. He's done the rest of Death Mountain. So I think Death Mountain's pretty much all checked out. So we're gonna have to. I think Death Mountain, with Death Mountain now being off the table, I think we might be seeing a Pendant Swamp play in a bit here because there really is not much else we can check.
We are getting a Pyramid Fairy check from Manungu, though, as well.
Yeah, and Renderer is right behind.
Which
so
I don't remember if we saw this. I don't think so.
we definitely didn't see this because yeah, Professor Renderer just got was the first to get the second crystal, but unfortunately, Pyramid Fairy is nothing, and I'm actually mildly annoyed at that.
Well, I'm looking forward to a Swamp Palace dive here. I'm looking for Hookshot.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good for that.
We've not
also,
seen Catfish, have we?
We have not seen Catfish, and that's been in play for some time as well. Of note, I did get around to checking what was on pedestal from Professor Renderer's VOD earlier, and it was just Couch Cash. Move along. So, Ed's dead today. Sorry.
Unfortunate.
And it looks like Professor Renderer and Mundungu are kind of playing a game of follow the leader here, and they're both going to go to Catfish. Nice skull in Village of Outcasts, by the way.
Okay, so yeah, so that Skullwood's Big Key, by the way, we did see that from another person. That Skullwood's Big Key leads to the Ice Palace Big Key. So that is extremely important. That is a pendant. Or no, sorry, Skullwood's is a crystal. Regardless, that's a non-required Big Key going to another non-required Big Key. That's just really interesting. That's not how this logic mode is supposed to work. 20 rupees off a Catfish. That's not the answer.
Yeah, looks like
We're drawing straws here.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that we might have missed. We can't do Smith Chain without Titansmiths. We can't do Hammer Pegs without Titansmiths either.
We have Manungu going towards the... Where's Manungu going towards?
I think
Okay.
Mundungu hasn't checked Bridge Guy yet. Because it sounds like this is in that direction.
No, he's has the mushroom out doing the fetch question.
Right, because he hasn't found Flute. Well, he found Flute. Why didn't he just activate the Flute? Which one?
Two.
Bridge's Hut? 2? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
Good question. Okay, so Render is going towards Eastern now, finally. So Render will be getting their mirror.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be very happy to see that. Or possibly quite annoyed considering that's a Sphere 0 mirror. Sphere 0 mirror. It's one of those nights, chat. And yeah, I don't think we saw anything else in Thieves Town besides the flute. I don't think the second item was anything of extreme significance. But we do know that Thieves Town Big Chest is flute. We do need that because Myers a crystal.
I'll say Thieves Town has 4 items. I think it was like 3 bombs, a piece of heart, the flute, and something else. Pretty sure just some change out of the couch. We don't really care for it. Not 300 rupees, but yeah, I'm pretty sure the important thing here at Thieves Town is just the flute. And of course the crystal, which at this point, 44 and a half minutes in nearly, would be Lana's. Oh, there's 20 rupees there out of the attic chest. This would be Lana's first crystal that we're looking at, I think.
Yeah, her decision to go to Aga 1 immediately after picking up Master Sword and Moon Pearl is really coming back to bite her, unfortunately, because it ultimately wasn't the play, considering Glove and Flippers both were much more easily accessible.
Now, I didn't think about this, but Breadcoon found Ether Medallion.
Oh, whereabouts?
That's my next question. Where was Ether? Because Ether's marked, and I don't know, because, I mean, I'll say this immediately. I have been mistaken for mismarking things, but I wonder if that's supposed to be a Quake medallion, but if so, like, where was Ether? Because I know we had a pause in the stream for everybody, so I don't know what locations could have been checked during that time.
It might have been on Death Mountain.
Lana just now getting her flute. Renderer doing a Stalfos room.
Ether Medallion was vanilla.
Oh. That's interesting. So we have full medallion knowledge, so we do not care about our medallion dungeon entrances anymore.
Yeah, so basically what happened based on what I'm looking from Brett's VOD is that when he went to Death Mountain on the first pass, he did check the medallion, then went to East Death Mountain, and that was around that time, that was when we had that hiccup.
Right, okay. That would make the most amount of sense.
But
just catching that. Thank you to our trackers for having followed that, by the way.
Indeed. But yeah, without Cape, we can't do Bumper Ledge. I don't think we've had a runner check Bumper Ledge. We can check Graveyard Ledge. We can't do King's Tomb without Pegasus Boots. Yeah, right now, Boots and Hookshot are the big question marks, because those are really the only things we need to kind of get a move on here with the rest of the seed. I mean, obviously Bow as well.
I'm pretty sure we have seen Bumper Ledge. My brain, I don't know if it was the seed I was watching earlier, if it's tonight. Whether or not it was a blue item, I'm pretty sure. If it was a blue rupee or blue cane.
Either way, well, blue cane would be nice, but unfortunately that's cape locked. And by that point, what's the point of getting blue cane when you can just use cape for Spike Cave?
Correct, yeah. I don't remember off the top of my head whether or not we've seen it. But yeah, special shout out to Kianto and Nira Lightshine tonight for our trackers. They are bearing with us between technical difficulties, and just trying to deal with all of the chaotic things that have been happening. When you're getting their Canis Samaria there off of the Lake Hylia Island, that is a required item.
Yeah, Brett, on the other hand, has powered up the flute, so it looks like Lana's about to do the same, actually. So we're going to see 3 runners with powered up flutes in a bit. Professor Ender might have activated his off-camera while we weren't looking, but I think he's checking Death Mountain first, then going to do that. Yeah, I don't think we can stay away from Swamp Palace that much longer here. In fact, I think that's where Brett's going. Oh no, this is a day game because he hasn't done that yet. It was definitely a it was like a 17, 18, somewhere in the upper teens digs for a heart piece. So nothing crazy.
Correct. I'm Manlagu getting there. Vanilla Ether, it looks here. Yep, there it is. So Manlagu no longer cares about what Misery Mire medallion is. Has all 3 medallions. We love to see that, honestly.
You know what our worst case scenario could be right now that I know chat loves when we speak this sentence? Bow on Laser Bridge. Or Trinex for that matter. Because if we find if Titan's Mitts are free in Swamp Palace, well, we still need Fire Rod too. Is the only problem because we can't do a whole heck of a lot in Turtle Rock without Fire Rod unless the keys are extremely cooperative.
Well, we have bombos, so we can get in. Well, we need Titan's Mitts though at a swamp.
Right, and to get further in, is that a Dorito chip? What's that doing there?
That
Is that basically a nothing item?
if I'm not mistaken, that was.
It's the second power glove, I think. Or no, wait.
No, I'm pretty sure it was 20 rupees
Oh, okay.
on somebody else's stream, but that was very clearly a Triforce piece.
Weird.
Also, yes, G-Storm should be the other one than me. Captain MD is likely more difficult to hear. Also, I just now realized that I called that originally, but Speed Gaming 3 having rated forever ago now. Yeah, it was quite some time ago.
It was right around the same time SG1 swung along, but that's alright. We're glad you're all here. Most importantly, we're glad that this seed appears to be going downhill very fast, as Professor Render is now going to be our first runner to attempt to dive Green Pendant Hookshotless Swamp Palace, which, as far as we know, has a Titan's Mitts and a Butter Sword. Whether they're hookshot locked, we're about to find out.
But yeah, we are aware of the audio difference. It is out of most of our control. We are still actively working on it.
Unfortunately, pretty much everybody being baited by Pyramid Fairy today, despite her being available almost immediately. Not any progression in that location this time around, but let's see how Swamp plays out here. Now, I do believe the Swamp Palace Big Key is another key that can be shuffled anywhere since it's not required to reach the back end of the dungeon.
Correct, but you would need the hookshot.
Yeah, so...
And that's a dungeon item in the first chest. That is a slap in the face.
That's really bad because now it's looking pretty likely there's an item on left side Swamp.
Well, I mean, it's nearly guaranteed. Oh. That yep, you hit the red berry there and the trap fired at you. It's outside, so I mean, you went from 1 heart to 6, so I guess that's a pretty good bonus.
Alright, well, Lana has now picked up her mirror, so everybody now has their mirror, everybody has their flute. Only our left side runners have Quake medallions right now, but we don't necessarily need to worry too much about medallions just yet. We haven't even had a chance to peek either of the medallion dungeons.
Yeah, I mean, without Titan's Mitts, we're not going to do too much in that front, but... Sorry, I saw Bread flute towards 7 there, and 6 there, and I got confused. I thought it got Titan's Mitts and was going to the Misery Mire, and that was not the case. Doing a Nagina check here, which was a piece of heart, I think?
It was definitely not progression. Yeah, again, I think runners are just looking to avoid whatsoever to dive a dungeon they can't full clear, and unfortunately, it looks like that is unavoidable tonight.
This is what, the compass chest in Swamp Palace?
I think so.
Lana picking up her final medallion there.
And there's the compass. So, yep, that's both dungeon items. So there is.
I'm pretty sure that's the vanilla compass too. That's actually kind of fascinating.
So that means there's nothing but items left in Swamp Palace, and that there's a handful with the Swamp Key fully randomized. There are 7 items in here.
Not going towards that top check there.
Unfortunately, like 4 of them are hookshot locked.
Yeah, we have 2 more items in our future here. After that, we then need to truly pull upon the longest of straws to find out what we need to do.
The only area that immediately comes to my mind is Graveyard Ledge.
Don't think we've seen that.
I don't think we've seen it either. Mainly
I was watching an inverted seat earlier, so my brain is thinking about walking up the ladder in a light world, and well, we're not an inverted, so I know that's not right.
Yeah, no, we can't do that, unfortunately. Professor Eder is getting bullied by those.
Those are boots on the floating island.
We need Titansmiths for those.
Correct.
So
That is a scoutable location. That is where our boots are.
Say that's where they were going to be. I really gotta stop calling that.
I mean, honestly, I think we need to pull up the VOD at this point. You did it for everything else. Just, we could. All I know is that I know how a red rupee looks. I know how a moon pearl, a mushroom, lamp, are red-looking items here. Those are definitely boots. And this is not the first time that we've seen runners go up to Death Mountain, so...
Yeah, I think our runners in the past just flat out didn't check Floating Island on their first pass.
Well, that actually now has me wondering. Did they not check it? Or...
Well,
did they just ignore it because they know that in order to get it, you need Titansmiths?
Well, and at this point, we're pretty much almost out in the open locations, too. So...
Also, we're going to get our second left side swamp check here from Renderer.
Yeah, if it's not here, then it is... Lana not happy about that fire shield. If it's not here, it's down to pretty much Graveyard Ledge.
There it is.
Yeah, that's our seed breaker. So
honestly, would you go? Okay, I was gonna say you don't want to really go back through this. That's just. I mean, you could have mirrored out, but
that's lousy. That's a lousy spot for Titansmiths. I mean, granted, they've been accessible pretty early because again, mirror flip.
We had all this.
We had all it very early, but even still, that's the last thing you want to see. Because now Hook is definitely, pretty much everything we're still looking for is behind those Titansmiths.
So Hook in Super Bunny Cave.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say Hook in the first chest of Hookshot Cave, since we know where boots are.
So what if we did Hook in first check of Turtle Rock?
Could do. Because I don't think that's Fire Rod locked.
It's not. If you go left out of the initial entry of Turtle Rock, you could go into the first chest. And Canis Samaria is available to us.
Well, I think runners would rather dip Crystal Dungeons first, so I have a feeling we're going to see runners dip Mire instead, just because with Boots and Flute, that does make Mire a full clearable dungeon with Samaria.
True, but we did get an early Ice Rod, and we know how logic works here.
I mean, yeah. Yeah.
I gotta give Nira a shout out. We gotta get either a Ped or an Aga seed. I mean, we saw Lana do Aga. We know that Ped's dead, but we gotta reach out towards all of those extra parts of the seed.
Indeed. I mean, the absolute worst case scenario that we could see here is Bow on Green Pendant. Since we know TR. Oh, actually no. Well, Bow on Green Pendant and Hookshot being in Turtle Rock.
Well, Hookshot on Trinex. which puts Fire Rod in Ice Palace or left side Mire.
I think that's the other reason runners might dip left side Mire, because that's one of those potential checks for the Fire Rod. And if it falls on your lap, fantastic. If not, well, at least you're clearing the Crystal Dungeon. So I wonder if that's the case. Now, unfortunately, Professor Render may be in for a bad day if Turtle Rock requires Quake to enter, which it does. That's actually kind of painful. Because we know Quake is in Pod.
And, well, we know that it's not a pendant, but Pod always has progression.
That is true. Like, besides Swamp, like, Pod's the next most lucrative dungeon at 5. Turtle Rock also has 5. There's Hookshot and Super Bunny Cave. Did you say that?
Did I say Hookshot?
You literally called that out before it even happened.
Wow. I did not roll this seed, by the way.
Commentator's blessing, question mark?
Blessing or curse? Because now we're getting a Hookshot Cave. So, we'll see. Is the bow here? Is the bow first check what you called? It's a bottle.
Yeah, it's a bottle. No
It's a B word. A big key. There's Swamp Palace big. So bow in Swamp Palace big.
Bow and Swamp Palace big would be terrible because that makes Pendant Swamp a force double dip. And to answer your question, Chad, Lana and Mundungu did right side pod already. That's why they have Quake medallions. Renderer and Bread didn't go there, mainly because their routing gave them mirror and gave them mirror a little earlier, so they ended up checking places like Desert, High Cave, that area. And yep, it was Boots on Floating Island. So yeah, with Boots, yeah, Mire becomes wide open, and I think that's going to be the next place we see runners go, just because it is a possible location for Fire Rod, and it's a Crystal Dungeon anyway. So either that or they're going to go for Ice. Because Ice would actually probably be even better, which Brett is actually doing on that note. Renderer getting a fantastic hair pot there. You'd love to see it. And with Kane, Icebreaker Glitch is a cakewalk as well. So we're probably going to see that used to its full effect here. Unfortunately, Professor Render doesn't have the big key, which I think is the pantry. I think he went straight for the top of the tower. I just blinked in this one right now. I'll check the playback. It was arrows.
But yeah, previously what you had said about our left side runners here having done right side pod to get the Quake medallion, that does mean that Quake is bow locked, and that means that Turtle Rock is bow locked.
Yeah, so unfortunately, Turtle Rock. Oh, there's Fire Rod and Ice in the ICU room.
There it is. I mean, we pretty much were guaranteed because of Ice Palace Big Key being shuffled out. I believe it's 4 items then in Ice Palace here. So we're pretty much guaranteed on it. So that is a Skullwoods clear. That is a Turtle Rock full clear. Well, no. Well, I guess without the Quake medallion, you cannot.
Yeah, so now the question becomes, really, where is that bow chilling at? Like, honestly, I'm seriously thinking back of Swamp Palace right now, since Swamp has a grand total of 7 items in there, and we've only seen...
Well, we do have Skullwoods now as well. Boots were on Floating Island in Dark Death Mountain.
You do have Skullwoods, very true, but unfortunately, it's only 2 items, and we're still looking for... Well, the only thing we're actually looking for that we are is bow. But in a case like this, it's actually a really tough call. Like, do you go for Crystal Dungeons or do you go for Density? Because the Density is definitely in back of Swamp Palace, whereas
Also,
the Crystal Dungeons are elsewhere.
I think I'm playing for a second. Where was Hookshot?
Hookshot was in Super Bunny, so it's behind.
Oh,
the
right.
Titans.
Okay.
That might actually kind of take runners away from Swamp again because it's like, oh, I just got out of Swamp. I don't want to go back.
I don't know why. I was here when we first said it, and I
Never mind.
forgot.
I'm going to stop you right there because the bow was just chilling on Cold Snare. Ice
Well,
Palace was
that's
the
our
play.
first bow.
Yeah, Ice Palace was the play.
So here's the other thing. Sorry, excuse me. We know that we have one final item check on King Helmasaur in Palace of Darkness. The other potential single location of bow is Armos Knights in Eastern Palace. The other 4 locations are in Ganon's Tower. Do you value silver arrows? And would you check Eastern Palace?
With Tempered Sword in tow, I would say I don't think you check Eastern Palace because that's only one check. In Brett's case, he's still got to go find Quake Medallion, which he's going to find, and that's actually going to put him in go mode because he doesn't need boots at this point.
Does need hookshot though.
Yeah, does need hookshot, but is going to go to Dark Death Mountain and get it.
We'll at least be in no mode, to say the least. We'll be in no mode, absolutely.
I mean, yeah, there's also that, big key on the torch kerfuffle, but at that point, Brett's going to see the boots on Floating Island if he hasn't already, so I don't think it's a worry, but this seed has basically been solved.
Nier also raising us an extra point. GT Big Key being on torch and requiring those boots.
Yeah, see that if that ever is the case.
Fortunately, we hope that our runners will have checked the floating island and see the boots are there, and they have the knowledge of them. In this particular case, we will have all of the items to be able to at least get them before having to go into Ganon's Tower. And so if it's on Ganon's Tower, or if it's on the torch, I'm pretty sure because our runners will have knowledge, they will grab the boots if they need to.
I'm pretty sure they're going to route it in with hookshot on Floating Island anyway, just for the sake of that speed boost.
Did Lana check the left side? Did she? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. For some reason, my brain thought that that was her first check of left side swamp, and she went to the right side, left side swamp chest, which was not the case, I'm sure. But
is taking those mids straight to Ice Palace, and we do know Ice Palace is the play because it's literally got Fire Rod and Titans, and not Titans, it's Fire Rod and Bow just chilling right next to each other.
she's gonna grab Canis Mario first, I think. Yeah, I mean, Canis Mario making the nice icebreaker play. Renderer having hookshot here for that backtracking here. Getting his Fire Rod.
Brett's actually probably going to be really happy to see that. I don't know if we saw the big key at any point in Pod, if it's in Dark Maze or not, but Brett's going to just pretty much have to find the big key of Pod, and then after Quake, that's it. Again, he's going to be pretty much in go mode at this point, after this, barring big key on the torch and having to go back to Floating Island shenanigans.
I mean, I think regardless, because of the climb up Death Mountain, whether or not you've seen those boots there, you'll probably see it again, potentially.
I'm pretty
and
sure they're probably going to take the Turtle Rock portal to get to Dark Death Mountain. Everyone's going to probably take the Turtle Rock portal to get to Dark Death Mountain, so in the process of that, they'll absolutely see those boots if they haven't already.
Yeah, I mean, if you see them, you're going to take them, I think, regardless. Because just the boots make Ganon's Tower's basement and climb just a lot nicer.
Alright, Mundungu now going into Swamp for his Titans mitts, and yeah, this is gonna set him on the right track here. So yeah, this is definitely one of the weirder. I mean, we're also playing with pretty weird settings, but at the same time, this is a weird seed.
I believe what we saw there from Mundungu as well is that Went up the middle climb there. Maybe potentially realized did not have hookshot, but also did not have a key at the moment. And well, does not have hookshot, so did not have the key to steal there from the right side. So that I believe that influenced their decision.
Yeah, unfortunately, it seems that pretty much everybody last location Titans mitts, besides checking Graveyard Ledge, but it's just unfortunate. Again, you don't want to go into Pendant Swamp without the ability to full clear, especially considering that there were only 2 items before Hookshot was required. Oof. Those mini Helmosaurs just kind of sandwiched bread there.
Also, Lana dealing with my least favorite room in the entire game. I absolutely hate that room. I've used sword strats, I've done boots, I've tried everything, and I still cannot just do that room. The gauntlet, the GT gauntlet climb, piece of cake. Everything else, piece of cake. That Ice Palace room, I wish it were removed from the game.
Alright, Press Surrender gonna get Bow off the Cold Stare. Probably be a little annoyed at that, given that again it's behind those Pendant Swamp Titans mitts. Which, to be fair, because so many remaining items were locked by Titans mitts, the seed kind of had to spell itself out eventually, because there aren't that many checks behind Titans mitts by comparison to, like, say, just Dark World access in general, but...
Right, getting their Tempered Sword, by the way, out of Dark Maze and Poud.
And there's the odd big key. Was in the Dark Maze.
Yeah, I know you brought it up before, and I could not remember, but I do remember that when Lana went in now, she hammer yumped into the Dark Maze, did that first check, and then went back and then checked the big chest, and then went through the rest of the maze.
Oh, wow.
So
Discovering first time visiting for the day, and Meyer was ether locked, so that vanilla ether tablet was required today. So we did need effectively all 3 medallions: Bombos to get into Ice, Ether to get into Meyer, and Quake for Turtle Rock.
well, I suppose assuming Turtle Rock would be required, but...
I mean, yeah, that's right. We could skip Turtle Rock today. I forgot about that.
But if this were an all dungeon seed, which, you know, I love my all dungeon seeds, I won't say anything. Lana getting an amazing cold stare kill there. Wow.
That was a great cold stare.
She knocked all 3 of them into the corner and splash damaged all of them with that fire rod. That was really, really well done.
Alright, well, Lana now has Bow, but she has not yet been up to... I don't think she's been up to Death Mountain at all yet. Or at least Dark Death Mountain to receive, to get Hookshot and Pegasus Boots.
Also interesting to see that Mundungu going there towards the Turtle Rock portal and did not open it necessarily. But I do believe Professor Renderer was the only one who went into Swamp Palace with the hookshot, and then I believe did not do the backside.
Well, no, that couldn't have happened because Hook was Titans locked. So Professor Renderer would have had... That would have been a double dim. So did he go in a second time while I wasn't looking?
I don't think so, because I think I might have misremembered events, but for some reason that was prominent in my mind. I think I might just be misremembering it.
Well, Brett, on the other hand, is wrapping up the Helmosaur King fight and gets up Mirror Shield. Nice.
Lana is going to be so unhappy to see that.
Yeah, and especially since it's unavoidable.
You know, we might just see her go out of her way to get that stolen.
On the flip side, Lana is about to get Quake, not Quake, Hook, and actually, Quake's not even required. It just dawned on me. No wonder Professor is not worrying about
Lana here to kill that dead rock.
So yeah, Professor Render's definitely in go mode right now. Brett's got the leg up on dungeons, but doesn't know about the hook and boots yet by the looks of it.
Lana just now seeing the boots there. She can immediately go get those.
Yeah, and if she goes to Super Bunny Cave, she'll be in go mode too.
Also, yeah, as we just saw there, from every screen that she could, Lana was absolutely destroying every dead rock she came across. Which I do believe is a thing that once a dead rock has been frozen a single time when you've been in the map/instance with them, you then cannot use Quake. But she just walked in, she said nope. Also, her bombing Turtle Rock there.
Yeah, she'll be very happy to know that as soon as, well, unfortunately, she's going into the wrong location first here, but she's going straight for boots, is what it is.
I mean, I don't blame her. A lot of people who know me know that I value boots over pretty much any item in the game.
Oh, absolutely. Just for the speed boost. It's like people valuing, like, Goron Mask or Bunny Hood, for example, in Majora's Mask Randomizer. Goron Mask is such a huge speed boost by comparison.
You know, you said that I was going to make a reference to the Final Fantasy Mystic Quest Randomizer, which I believe is in beta mode at the moment. And is a lesser known Final Fantasy game in general, but the randomizer has a really, really weird way of interacting with the game. But I absolutely will give it a shout out because it's a lesser known game and it's amazing. It's a very, very classic JRPG video game.
Alright, so it looks like Lana's diving into Mire first. Oh, wait, she has boots now, so yeah, she's diving into Mire looking for hook shot. Did Lana go to... Did Lana go get hook shot? Or did she just get boots and bail?
I do not believe she went into Hexshot Cave, no. But I also do not believe she went into Super Bunny either.
Yeah, because if she did go to Super Bunny, because yeah, Hookshots was literally right there next to Boots. That's a huge oof. Because Lana's gonna full clear this dungeon looking for Hookshot, and it's not gonna be here.
So this might be a full clear here then of Misery Mire.
Yeah, and we definitely, that's definitely gonna eat into Lana's time here. That being said, Brett's picked up Boots now, so he's just wrapping up. Did he also skip Hookshot? I could double check when, oh no, that's right, everybody can quick swap now.
I was gonna say Hookshot had what? Temper?
They have what now?
What was the special item out of Hookshot Cave?
The first, the lower Hookshot Cave item, I don't think it was a sword. It was a bottle. The bottle containing bees?
Correct. Okay.
And yeah, our tracker's also confirming that Brett also did not get Hookshot. So yeah, both Brett and Lana not going to Super Bunny Cave to grab Hookshot. Unfortunately, just not going to play in their favor in this case. It's most likely that they feel behind because of the delay in getting Titan's mitts. Because again, literally everybody last location swamp here.
Also, that was a really nice done fight on Cold there from Anungu, using a combination of dash strats with fire rod strats there on Cold Stare. That was really nice done, actually. If you kind of blinked, you might have missed the fact that that was dashing.
Indeed.
Because he held out his tempered sword the whole time, and you just kind of watched Cold Stare die.
Alright, so yeah, Mundungu is also in go mode too, so he's just going ahead and clearing the remaining dungeons. Unfortunately, compared to Render, he's about a dungeon and a half behind, because Render is just going to go ahead and blitz through Pod and then literally beeline through Skull Woods, and then that's going to pretty much be all she wrote. Then it's the typical GT plus Agatu Ganon fight. Yeah, we're kind of winding things down here, and it's been a pretty interesting. Although, again, having said that, the seed kind of wrote itself with the early swamp access. And then after
Also,
that,
Lana's spooky action there, really nicely done as well.
Indeed.
Continue.
Surely. Kind of losing my train of thought here. What was I saying? But yeah, after swamp, the seed was actually pretty fast, all things considered. Because literally after Titan's Myths, you literally just go to Ice Palace, get Fire Rod, and get Fire and Bow, and then you go grab Boots and Hook next to each other in the Dark Death Mountain. That's literally all she wrote, and that's seed solved. So, all things considering, this wasn't a particularly terrible seed. It's just that Myths were in a lousy spot.
Well, they were in a lousy spot, but we knew that they were there. And I respect all of our runners for having avoided it, because we know that they're in Swamp Palace, but we don't know if that's a hookshot lock chest or not. And that means only the first 4 checks are without hookshot.
And it did not help that the first 2 were literally the map and compass.
Which were their vanilla locations.
Yeah, there's been a few of those is this even randomized moments today. We had like a vanilla bottle, we had a vanilla ether medallion.
I mean, we did have a couple of people in chat talking, debating about it, and that one of the things about this seed, potentially, I don't have it on record, I don't have it confirmed, but that there is a chance, I guess, that certain items and things being randomized in the seed could be essentially randomized into being vanilla, and, well, at that point, not randomized, but could be vanilla.
Yeah, I think before swords were progressive, I remember the Master Sword pedestal. If you read that, and it was Master Sword, it just said, "I thought this was supposed to be randomized."
Which, you know, at this point,
Pedestal read.
just might be the origin of that quote anyway. Also, Lana, I believe, actually being her only runner here to actually have Fire Rod for the Lamola's fight.
Yeah, everybody else used Ice Rod.
Yeah. And we know they do not have ice arrows, silver arrows, because those are either on Armus Knights or they're in the Ganon's Tower climb.
I think because the Ganon's Tower, basically right now there's a 4 and 5 chance of silver arrows falling on your lap in the GT climb. I think we're gonna see runners check those chests just because silver arrows cuts down on Ganon a lot, like by a solid minute or so, even with Tempered Sword.
It's what, 12 spins, I believe, with Tempered Sword?
12 spins with Tempered. I mean, you can get 2, maybe even 3 per cycle if you're really lucky, but by comparison, you know, just shove 4 silver arrows into Ganon's chest.
Right. Just check, you know, you have the post Moldorm 2 chest, the 2 chests after that. It's easy to check those Ganon's Tower climb chests.
Yeah.
Like, those ones are always on your way.
Yeah, if silver arrows don't happen to show up, it's not the worst thing in the universe, because again, everybody's on, because everybody except Render is currently on Tempered Sword, so that being said, Render, I'm not sure if he checked the Dark Maze. It looks like he didn't.
I was just about to say, did he not check the Dark Maze?
Which is, well, I must have gone for the, he might have hammer jumped to the big key, because it was on the lower side, and then immediately just zip right out, go straight for the boss. Because again, I'm imagining here that runners are playing from behind because they think they've last location their Titan's mid, so they're in trouble.
Well, the other thing to mention.
Nope, Render's got.
Oh, he does have tempered sword. Okay, so we do all the dark maze. That's good to know.
False alarm. Sorry, chat.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I personally wouldn't have known. However, what I was going to say is that if he did only have Master Sword, it really wouldn't make much of a difference. All of our runners here are, I can guarantee you, comfortable enough on Master Sword Silverless.
Oh yeah, there's and with the excessive number of bottles we found, because we found 3 bottles relatively easily today. So, and Professor Render, I know, stocked up on blue goo for around the time you went to go.
Yeah, so
In this scenario, you're absolutely not. If silvers are not on GT climb, then they're flat out not getting picked up today. Especially considering the bow was all the way behind Cold Stare. And again, Titan's mitts were literally last possible check in Swarm Palace before hook shot.
I mean, the only idea of bringing up killing Pattern Eastern is doing a silvers thing for comfort. But considering it's a 20% chance of silvers being on Armos Knights, or the 80% chance that they're in your GT climb, obviously you're going to find them in you're never gonna 20% chance find them on Armos Knights. And we have Tempered Sword. We don't really care for the silvers. They just make it a little bit easier.
Alright, so in terms of chat, someone in chat asked who's ahead right now. Right now, Render is Brett's about to get the last crystal, but Brett does not have a hook shot, which we know is in Super Bunny Cave.
Which, well, technically is not required if you can hover.
That's true, which we might see. Brett might be just playing, though that is what he plans to do, but we'll see.
I mean, we are playing. Why is that there? So why is Bread Coon here? And it might just be for the hover. We could be, honestly, just so pleasantly entertained tonight. I mean, we've had such a great seed so far.
Indeed, and that being said, Render is literally right on his heels right now, just picking up that 10th crystal, which means, Chad, get your guesses in between 1 and 22 where you think the Ganon's Tower Big Key might be hiding tonight.
Yeah, Light Shine going for that 22.
You know, I'm gonna go a little on the high side myself. I'm gonna guess 19 tonight.
It's an unpopular thing. I like 4. Homemade beer already said 4. Do I get an opportunity to change my vote?
Alright, Mundungu getting the Meyer crystal, and he's gonna just wrap up Skullwoods and be on the same path here. Lana, on the flip side, is gonna finish up Pod and unfortunately be rewarded with her Mirror Shield, which I'm sure she's gonna proceed to immediately get swallowed.
Nope. Homemade beer, you said yours first. Yours is 4, not mine.
Unfortunately, Brett just got dead rocked.
It happens to the best of us and the worst of us, but it happens to me every time.
Am I imagining things, or did Lana's spin just flat out not fire there?
I was partially watching between Birdcoon going through Dead Rocks and Renderer running along.
Yeah, there's Lana's frustration slashes at the Mirror Shield.
Yeah.
Alright, that being said, we are just about to enter GT, so once Brett enters GT, I'm gonna go ahead and cut off the numbers.
We also do have Lana on her way up to Ganon's Tower, it's looking like she also does not have the hook shot, so we'll see how that goes.
Alright, looks like Bread going left immediately discovers a blue rupee. So yeah, you could have gotten away without boots this seed.
Well, in this particular case with Breadcoon,
Oh yeah, Bionic
is
shooting.
bomb jumping into the Stalfos room. Which, logically speaking, you at least would need the boots. Well, you need the hook shot, honestly.
Not bad improv for sure, but key 7 is not the answer. Now, Professor Render, on the other hand, is going right. I didn't see what was in Hope Room, but definitely couldn't have been the big key.
Small key and 50 rupees. So
That would be 8 and 9. So we'll just let Render's checks be 10 through 13 here, since
Oh.
most likely. Oh no,
Breadcoon is doing tile room.
Wow, the gamble. Let's see if it pays off, because Professor Render rather did not find the key on the right side.
That small key warps out. Renderer does have the hook shot though, so it does put that Stalfos room there on the left side in logic. At least.
Yeah, he's certainly going to have a much easier time wrapping things up.
The only thing that makes this interesting though is that Breadcoon was our first one to enter into Ganon's Tower, so our guessing game.
Well, look at that. Tile room has the big key.
That was I've watched so many tournaments here in the past. Also, Lana being here now in Ganon's Tower, so we will see how this goes. Lana Bean also is one of those people without the hook shot, so I wonder, does she do the same thing as Breadcoon just did and go towards that hook shot, that tile room check?
Well, we shall see, but yeah, I think that is an end. If it's left plus Stalfos plus Hope Room and then tile room, so that would technically be 8 for the correct guess, so I think the closest guess is James, who was 11.
Yes, homemade beers would be 4 away. James was 3 away.
All right, and we are seeing Lana head right as well. That was a nice block punt there.
So yeah, James FNX, you are our Ganon's Tower Big Key winner for tonight in this current race. Congratulations, you get a shout out.
Well, Beer, to be fair, also switched over to 6, so
You know, I'm still gonna consider Beer's shout out to be 4 because he said 4 and then I said 4 and then he said he'd change and I still count his first guess. Also, yeah, this is actually, as I just said, as James just called it out, Lana's doing the towel room. And I said, if Lana, she's the other one who does not have the hook shot in this case, and she did tile room. She got the big key.
yeah, we'll see.
She is big braining this far more than I could have.
And just like that, Lana Bean has pulled ahead of Professor Renderer in this GT play because I assume she's gonna hover.
I mean, I know in the past she's not been able to, but honestly, I think she might have been practicing. I see some confidence here. And she knows that the boots are in an overworld check. And that means they cannot be in Ganon's Tower. They have to be in Hookshot Cave or in an overworld check.
She actually has boots too, so yeah, she might go for it.
I am lying to myself enough. Yeah. Lana has boots.
We're gonna see the hovers, and then we're probably gonna see some groans of disbelief when we tell them that Hookshot is just chilling right next to the Mitsuru Bunny.
I mean, maybe, but if you don't need it and you made it through the hover, kind of just fine. You don't care.
Alright, we're seeing our GT climb chest. The first two contain a heart
Silvers.
and our silver arrows. So yeah, the probability of Silver's being here was pretty high, so yeah, everybody's...
Just powder your HP, good, grab that bottom right pot, grab your full magic, we're done here. This is a sealed deal from Bread. It's his seed to lose.
Yeah, definitely looking pretty safe. Well, having said that, Moldorm was about to try and object to that, but...
Oh, that was a really nice double spin there. Getting that really nice Moldorm 2 kill. I was wondering maybe if he would hover it. Oh! Gonna show us the moves? Wow.
Done.
I just got absolutely demolished. I just got runner cursed. You've heard of the commentary curse. You just witnessed the runner curse. Wow. I'm impressed, actually. That was so well done.
With that, Red, our first runner of the evening on Aga 2. Unfortunately for Professor Render, he ended up getting big key on number 22, so...
Nira, that does not count because Render was not the one that we're giving the vote on.
Yeah, Red was the first one in GT, so...
Unfortunately, yes, you're basing it on the first person, but I know you know, but
We're messing. We're messing with
I'm here to just toy with you, Nira. You know that.
Alright, Brad didn't have a tremendously brilliant Aga 2, but I think it was a 2-1-3, I want to say, or a 2-1-1-2, something like that. Again, not pleasant, but not brilliant, not terrible either. Unfortunately, it looks like Mundungu followed in Render's steps here and did not do tile room immediately, so is going to end up getting big key probably on 22.
Well, the two people who did the tile room were the two that did not have hookshot.
Strangely enough.
Well, I suppose not even.
Makes a lot of sense, actually, because it does make... hookshot does make getting a few of those chests a little harder on the left side, especially. Ooh, Red took a fire bat hit there, but has enough hits to tank 2 more.
Yeah, so we're looking here, and Lana has to hover this or get a Moldorm bounce or do the hover. Because you could do the Moldorm jump. Which personally I'm a little unsure of. I think she might have gotten a little spooked there by potentially getting hit by Moldorm. That one I can totally understand. He was right behind her.
Alright, and we're going to see Red go ahead and set things up here. Not doing torch glitch, but there really is no need when you have silvers. Gets the triple. Fantastic finish from Red. Get your GGs in chat. Assuming there are no disasters on this 1x3 bridge over here, Red is going to take the race on this restream here tonight.
Alright, so yeah, GG's to Bread. Also, Lana being just barely off at the end of that hover there.
And it looks like Red's finishing time. The Triforce just says OMG. Sums it up. Sums it up. But yes, chat, the final time for Bread is 1:37:13, and that is Bread joining us here in the booth. GG to you. Congratulations on first place.
Thank
GG,
you.
Bread.
I didn't expect it when I forgot to check the floating island on my first trip up the mountain. I'm like, oh, I'm sure the boots aren't there. I'm sure I'll find it somewhere else. I'm sure it's fine. It was not fun. It was not fine.
Well, it's funny that you want to know where Hookshot was?
I'm gonna guess TR. I don't have very many locations left.
Nope, Super Bunny Cave.
Oh.
Under the doormat. But, yeah, that is the entire game mode. Why is that there?
Exactly. Yeah, that pretty much sums it up with literally everybody last location Titansmiths. The only check I don't think we've seen was Graveyard Ledge.
So when I first went to Dark World, I had the mirror and the flippers and the hammer. I was super tempted to dive into Hookless Swamp. And I was just like, this is massive temptation. I'm just like, I don't know, I could pull a mitts, but I'm like, it's not that likely. Like, I should probably look for the hook shot before I dive for it.
That's
And
what
so
we
I-
were assuming everybody was doing.
Yeah, I'm just like kind of like weighing it. Like, I mean, you get 4 checks, which you it's basically a 50-50 whether you get the Titan mitts or not.
And I apologize for giggling earlier, but Professor Render just bombed the Moldorm 2 chest.
Nice.
Lana did also finally get her hovering as well, and it was really well done that time as well.
Yeah, it's actually funny. Lana actually pulled ahead of Render. He was first in the GT. You were first in the GT. Render came in about a minute behind you, with Lana soon behind. But both you and Lana checked tile room almost immediately.
Because
Yeah.
the two of you were without hook shot, so the other two had hook shot, but you and Lana did not have it. So you guys kind of went. Oh, Lana also took down Aghanim, even though Renderer entered in first. That's actually we're gonna get a very close race there between Lana and Renderer entering just kind of seconds behind each other.
And they're both running the same gear, you know. Very luckily for all of you, silvers are just chilling at the top of GT instead of
Yeah.
Armos Knights.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, I had tempered swords. I wasn't exactly worried, but it's just like, well, I may as well open the checks. There's a pretty high likelihood I'll pull the silvers up here. Like, there's just one other check in the game that could have silvers, so.
Right, you had an 80% chance of getting your silvers here in Ganon's Tower, so.
Yeah, may as well check the chest for him, honestly.
Also, yeah, this Ganon pattern is pretty good. Seeing
Yeah,
here from Lana and Renderer as well.
Yeah, I got the weird thing where you like stop partway down the bottom. I don't know why that happens sometimes, but oh well.
Just overall, how did you feel about this seed?
I felt pretty. I kind of felt like a dingus about the boots, honestly. That was a very. It's a big dingus moment because I once I had that, I knew I was in full go. Which I could have scouted that and had that mentally prepared a lot earlier, but oh well. Otherwise, I mean it was pretty fun. I was thinking it was gonna be. Did anybody Aga climb? Like,
yes,
is-
Lana did.
Okay, because it definitely looked like an Aga seed for 100%.
At least from what we can see from our trackers as well, Renderer did also complete Aga. But yeah, Lana did a very early Aga climb. She's also just now taken down Ganon. So get your G's in chat for Lana, and I'm sure she'll join us shortly.
I think Render just needs to throw one more silver or two into Ganon. It looks like it's 1 or 2, but regardless, yeah, Render's got this. Okay, celebration time. Oh wait, no, we're hearing Render's audio. I thought that was Lana's audio to celebrate.
No,
We are joined by Lana.
Oh, Render ran out of arrows. That's why.
G-
oh,
GG, how's it
He's-
going?
GG's to Lana. Oh, and there is Renderer's kill as well on Ganon. So get your GG's for Renderer in the chat.
Yeah, so I know you brought up the tile room play. It wasn't because lack of hook shot, because I mean I'm perfectly fine bonking a bomb jumping your GT. That's fine. It's the fact that there's only 2 small keys in the front makes it really likely tile room has a big key, if I remember correctly. There's like a weird logic thing about big key, because it's like if there's very few small keys in the front of GT, then logically like it wants you to climb to get your next key for key logic reasons.
I have heard this as well. Yeah, that's one of those little niche things I think that's come up. But yeah, thank you for bringing that back up to us.
I think I mean too much, I'm sorry.
Well, on that note, Lana, you actually rolled ahead of Renderer because you hovered and did tile room before he got into GT.
Oh my. Oh no. that.
Did you exclusively do Tyler room though because you did not have hookshot?
Also,
I'm-
hi.
Hi, Ryan.
I'm memeing. GG render.
Well,
GG.
it's funny that because Lana, would you like to know where hookshot actually is?
I'm guessing left side swamp.
Nope, Super Bunny Cave.
Oh, that's way too easy.
Wait, did you not check left side chest, left side swamp? Because you got your Titan instead of right side chest, left side swamp.
I did right side, left side swamp, no left side. I left after mitts.
Okay, I thought I thought I was dreaming. I'm pretty sure I only saw you do the right side one. So you got your Titan's mitts and wow, okay. I was not hallucinating. Confirmed.
Yeah, so that's something we'll get. Literally all of you last location Titans mitts. Everybody basically cleared Thieves Town, got flued out of Skull Woods first, and then I think that was about the last thing we started seeing before we saw the first left side swamp dive by I can't remember who it was first. It was someone on the right side of our restream, so it was either Render or Bread.
Something tells me it may have been me.
I did a pretty thorough clear of the overworld just because I knew I could line. I thought I was banking on Pyramid Fairy maybe paying out or something.
Yeah,
Just doing a big Dark World loop off of that.
We did see, yeah, you and Render checked Pyramid Fairy pretty early. Unfortunately, Pyramid Fairy was made despite being almost immediately available because of how early everything was. The big early start with those flippers and back escape.
Yeah, there's I normally don't dive Eastern, but I'm like, this is a fun mode. Let me just dive Eastern before climbing. I normally in that situation probably would have climbed early, but then it's like, oh hey, here's a mirror. Well, this is perfect to go check the back of escape and then mirror back for Aga. Oh, never mind, there's flippers. Well, let's get some Zora money and let's go check these flipper checks real fast.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who did Aga. Thanks, and render. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You did by far one of the first, like, you did a very early Aghanim. And I mean, I know I said it very early on of like, hey, we're looking at potentially Aghanim, and we didn't have a lamp yet. And then you immediately found the lamp, and I was like, oh, Lana can do Aghanim, and then you did it like 2 checks kind of later thing.
I
And,
never
you
did
know-
Aghanim. I never did Aghanim.
You didn't.
Oh,
No,
it's
I did
marked on
not.
your tracker. Okay, it's marked on the tracker on SG.
I
Okay.
never did it. Yeah, I never did it. Like there was in mode like this, they're like it's you basically just treat it as if it was any other seed. It's just it's Aga, then if it's Aga required, then sure, then whatever. If not, then you just don't bother doing it.
Right. Well, in Lana's case in particular, I will mention, with the checks and items that she had gotten, from what it was that she had seen, she did not get the additional checks that some of you others had done, because all you guys started off on the same route. I will say that. All of you started on the same route for quite some time, and then 2 of you who got the hammer out of the Uncle Sewer chest went into front of escape, and the other 2 of you saved and quit out. So I believe it was Renderer and Manungu who quit out and went to Sanctuary.
Yeah, I mean, I did front of escape because I mean it's a hammer. It's kind of free. I'm right there. I guess I may as well do it.
Yeah, most people who tend to find a weapon that they can essentially just a weapon period beyond bombs, will do the front of escape. And both Lana and Bread did it, but Renderer and Manungu both quit out and went towards Sanctuary, which wasn't bad.
Yeah, I
Also,
mean, I ended up
welcome to
paying out.
Manungu joining us here. GG's.
GG.
Yeah.
You ended up kind of heating up a little bit after heating up in the Swamp Palace way. After that, it was just a matter of who did the Ice Palace first and found pretty much the remaining missing items. Because it turns out everything else critical besides Hookshot and Boots, everything else was just chilling in Ice Palace.
I mean, by that point, I'd already checked terror basement and land mow, so I knew fire rod just had to be in ice. There's literally no other possibility, and then
So
take that fire rod to places.
So funny that you mentioned Hera Basement. I got thrown off by the fact that, oh shoot, it's more than possible that maybe the fire, like I just saw like there was no small key, and I'm like, are we sure we're not playing hypermagic glitches here? Because that is normal behavior for Hera and hypermagic glitches.
I was confused too. I completely forgot that the Hera Big Q is wild. I thought.
Well, I knew. Oh, it was Hera Biggie was wild. Oh,
I
right.
missed that text. I was so surprised. I was like, no big key, no small key. What did I do?
Yeah, I was thinking.
I knew like ice and swamp and Skull Woods. I knew about those wild keys. I forgot Hera was a part of the list.
Yep.
So I was very confused when I walked in.
Yeah, I knew that was the case because like I force of habit tried to open a chest because it's force of habit. It's a muscle memory thing. So not you can't really fault me for doing that. But I was like, well, if that's the case, then it has to be that it might just have to be that there might be an item, that other item might be fire rod because of the requirements that's there. So as soon as I got hookshot, I just broke out one of the more recent a Hera pot setup that I recently learned. So it was I actually didn't actually like how it ended because it was pretty clean. It was pretty clean Hera pot.
Yeah, everybody's endings after they all got everything sorted out with Titan's Mitts and depending on if you covered or not, regardless of whether you covered or not, everybody's end game was pretty smooth. Mainly because Silvers basically fell on your lap in GT climb.
Yeah, I did have to break out the Silverless chest because I missed a shot. I missed a shot because. But it's like that's not a big deal. I could just that's easy. That's just child's play.
Also, Lana, we saw it a few times. The shields were trolling you today.
They were evil, but at least I got 2 out of 3 taken away quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did make sure to inform any and everybody, especially chat, that Lana and shields are a no-go.
Me too.
Yeah, there was definitely some comedy to be had on that front.
But Helma, please, good lord.
And we found all 3, to be honest, so I'm sorry for that.
Or was the other?
There was a shield in Hype Cave. There was a shield. There was Helmasaur. I'm trying to remember where Fire Shield was.
Yeah, I got the one from Helma, but that was it. Helma and Cave 73, and that was it.
That's the one. Oh wait, no, that's Hype Cave.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
I don't know what number cave Hype Cave is. I mean, to be fair, is it Hype Cave these days? I mean, it did have a book.
Oh, my hype cave is Mini Moldworm Cave.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I'm just disappointed the seed wasn't meme enough. I was like, maybe there'll be a bow on right side pot. No.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I was wondering it for a minute that it was like bow on Laser Bridge because we knew about Quake, except Quake was bow on, so never mind.
I mean, I did mention at one point, I do believe, being bow locked on pod, and we were following. I believe Lana was the first one to dive into Palace of Darkness, and we were following the keychain as she went through it. And the first thing that I mentioned is that is it bow locked technically? And it wasn't. You did find a key on the first side so you could open up the front door. And you did eventually end up doing the mimic clip, which is fine. That worked out fantastic. You got Quake, you got an extra small key. But it was interesting to see, like, maybe this led to extra progression. Because if you did the mimic clip, you could have found your first bow in those 2 chests.
I was hoping. Instead, I got a sword. And Quake. That was about it.
That was right. You found your first sword there in Dark Maze, right?
That was my 3rd sword. I think it was tempered.
That also was my 3rd sword because as soon as I got bow, I was like, there's no way I'm going back to swamp to find the other to go and grab the other progressive sword because it's progressive sword and mitts. There has to be
honestly,
that distinction.
Even if I didn't pick up a sword in pod, I probably wouldn't have digged for swamp, if only because I was essentially at that point banking on bow during the climb. So
Right.
I would just get silver's master sword, I'll be fine. Not that
Yeah.
bad.
It would be pretty insulting if after everything we've seen, the last bow was actually on Armor's Knights.
Yeah, because of the fact that but with the fact that since Helmasard and right side pod didn't have it, I was like, okay, so high chance of it now being it's a high chance of it being on the climb, which it was. So that it just makes sense to just grab a bow in this case. And I was just I was like, I'm still a little reluctant because if that was if Armor's Knights was the answer, then we would be on a pretty bad fight, really.
Yeah, it would have been a bit interesting, but thankfully the bottles were pretty easy. Although I think, some of you missed out on the it was the B bottle again. It was in Hookshot Cave, so there was a third bottle in Hookshot Cave.
Yeah, once I had that boots, I was just ditching everything. I'm just trying to blast you to sea at that point.
But yeah,
Me too.
yeah, nobody had any debts to get in or anything. So yeah, and everybody's end game was pretty quick, and you all finished within 6.5 minutes of each other as well. So yeah, you all put on a fantastic show for us tonight.
Yeah, it was surprisingly close despite it, really.
I will cut in for just a slight moment. There were 5 runners in tonight's race. On the restream, we featured Breadcoon, Lana Bean, Professor Renderer, and Manungu. The 5th runner was Koi, who was the one who finished in 2nd place at 1 hour, 40 minutes, and 43 seconds. In chat, I will also follow up with Breadcoon and Manungu's Twitch channels because they were not underneath the jurisdiction of the bot. Please go give all of them a follow. They put on a wonderful show tonight. We had some diverse routes. We had some interesting routes. We had things that we thought people were in the lead for the longest time, and they pulled bunnies out of hats that we didn't even know we had. So, honestly, these runners pulled things out that I couldn't have imagined. At least in the 4 that we restreamed tonight, I don't know about Koi. Anybody could check up on the stream for me. We saw no pendant clears. We saw pendant dives, but we saw no pendant clears. And that's nice.
It's funny that because actually 2 pendant dungeon dives were required for Mitz and Mir, no less. So
Yeah.
it would have been hilarious if TR had something required, so you had to dip all 3 pendant dungeons. But thankfully, not
what-
the case. Also, shoutouts to Vanilla Ether, by the way.
Yeah, that actually was it's just straight up vanilla. What do you know?
Yeah, that was the moment to see. Maybe why is that there?
That is the
Of all the weird things I've seen, the weirdest thing is why is Ether vanilla? This is weird.
no kidding. What? That's yeah, we know why is that there is the mode, but why is that there? Name drop.
Also, as a small intermittent thing as well. Shout out to Near Lightshine and Kianto tonight for our trackers. They did a lot of work for us when yep, of course I did it backwards. Yeah.
I gotcha.
Shout out to them and my co-commentator being Captain MD13. It's certainly been a seed, and this seed is a really fun set of game mode rules.
Indeed,
Yeah.
I'm glad I joined in for this one.
Yeah, Avianerd as a tournament is full of fun modes, and now that I got a chance to play Why Is That There, this is actually I think this might be one of my favorite modes. It's yeah, you have a bit of a checklist of what can and can't be there, or what possibilities could be there, but at least it's still fun. And even Nerd just made it it's just full of fun anyway. So
I have not played any of these. Beer said, "Hey, you want to enter the tournament?" I said, "Sure," and he was like, "Cool, you're in." And apparently, I'll be playing this mode soon.
Nice.
oh, good luck then. All right,
I think.
I'm
Good.
I'm ready to get going because it's 1 in the morning, and I'd rather just I might want to just go and do things outside. But thanks for the thanks comms trackers, all that stuff, and it was fun, just straight up fun.
Thanks everybody. GG's to everybody. Thank you so much for the restream.
Take it easy.
GG's. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you so much.
GG all.
Thank you.
Right. So if everybody in chat and everything else wants to get their final GGs in chat for our runners tonight that we feature on the stream, Lana Bean, Professor Renderer, Mundungu, and Breadcoon, as well as Goy, who was not in the restream but was also participant in the race, and our number 2 finisher. Do please get GGs in chat for them, as well as Keonto for on tracking and Nira Lightshine. They did a great job catching up and filling in all the parts that Captain MD13 and I might have missed, but you know, we try our best. We each only have 2 eyes. Our other 2 trackers have, well, I can only assume 2 eyes, but otherwise, we are looking towards to some future races, which you can find on the ALTTPR Discord, as well as the get links towards the Speed Gaming Discord. Captain, is there anything else you want to add?